Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to Life Under the Sun. Michael Hurt, this provocative, frustrating writer, has been keeping us on our toes. A bit like we are on ice and he keeps pushing us so we might fall. And there's a good reason for that. He wants to take believers, either of the Old Covenant or even of the New, as I've tried to show, to really question their life and their walk with God, their walk of faith. We are too quick to just go about on cruise control of faith, right? Go to church, do a few things, and then live my life. We need these words. We need to realize, as Coel is trying to show, that there are calls to question what we're doing. He has dared to put into question wisdom from above. Chapter 6 was all about Mr. Megablast, a man who follows biblical wisdom, who did everything right, was super blessed, and stayed empty. He was missing that L element, the Lord, that intimacy with Him, a relationship with Him. And so there's something that he needs to question. And this doesn't mean the wisdom is not good, though. Chapter 7 will show us that. It's a bit like the book of Proverbs. Feel a lot of wise words thrown at us verse by verse. Sometimes bigger sections, sometimes a verse, to show us how to live life under the sun in wisdom. Yet, it's still Coelic. So when we look at the first section, verse 1 to 6, we'll quickly realize that he's again gonna provoke some deep thoughts. He's gonna start with something so true, so basic divine wisdom. There you go. But then he's gonna provoke more thoughts in us. He's gonna say this: a good name is better than the precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of birth. It starts out well. I mean, a good name, a good reputation is found in Proverbs, something we should aim at, all by being wise and living according to God's commands. It is something to seek for. So he's right. And he says it's better that than this precious ointment, or a good perfume, if you will. And back then, you needed some good perfume. It's so important that Coel actually will repeat 3 times this idea of good. Yeah, you see it here, of course, but even better than is the idea of good. And even precious is again the word good. It's really, really good, this name, this reputation. So at this point, we're saying yes, of course. But that's when he turns our head to the other side and says, there's a dark part of the cave that we're exploring. A dark part they need to pay attention of. He's going to say, it's better than the day of death than the day of birth? What? No, Coel, other way around. It's better to be born, right? To live life, to know God. But he says, no, it's the day of death that's better. What? So that's what I mean. He's, again, just challenging us, frustrating us. We thought he was going the right direction. We saw there was a cave before us. We saw a light spot, bright and everything. He said, oh, yeah, that's where we're going to go explore, right? He said, no, that's the dark spot over there. Well, it's dangerous and stuff. That's what we need. What? But he's going to explain himself, though. He's going to help us understand, why is this day of death so far better than the day of our birth? He's going to say, it is better to go to the house of mourning than to the house of feasting, because this is the end of all mankind, and the living will lay it to heart, or will take it to heart. That's the point. So now we understand it's not about my day of death, but the day of death itself. Somebody close to me, relative, a friend, who dies. And so I have to go to the house of mourning. I go to his funeral. And I realized how imminent death can be, how we will all die. And I take it to heart. That's what's better. See, it's not the first time Quillette has used this sharp goad of death, this pointy stick of how close we are to dying any day, to make us think, are you ready to die? To meet your maker? Have you thought about what's afterwards? Has it affected the way you live here now? That's what the day of death is supposed to do. That's what's so much better. It gives you the opportunity to think, to reason, to consider the reality of death. The darkness wakes you up. That compared to the house of feasting. Yeah, it's lighted over here, but it's fake lights. It's party lights. Not good for you. It's all this festivity to make you forget reality. The music blaring, the lights are pumping. Ooh! Let's forget what's going on outside. Let's forget the reality of death. He wants us to really consider why this day of death is better. Why those who take it to heart will be on a better path. He's going to say or add, sorrow is better than laughter. For by sadness of face, the heart is made glad. Again, the better than. This is what's really better for you. We know it's built off what he's already been saying. How the day of death is the day of somebody else's death. It's meant to make you think, to take it to heart, to consider the shortness of life and the call to live life now under the sun. And not just to numb yourself in the fake light of party and feasting. That's what he means by it's better this sorrow. The sadness of being there, but thinking. Then the place of laughter, which is all about merrymaking and having fun and forgetting. Because, as he says once more, this sadness of face, you are in a place of mourning. You are in a funeral of a close person. You love this person. So it's not just the face. Your heart is saddened. Tears are falling. You can't control it. Yet in that heart of yours, you can be glad because you're taking it to heart. You're pondering it. You're letting it speak to you about the shortness of life and the reality of living life under the sun in a relationship with God. You're not trying to numb yourself, to forget it by laughing and partying. You're taking it to heart. That's why your heart can rejoice. As he's going to continue to explain, this is how you find the true joy of life. Not that feasting and laughing, but the considering and taking it to heart. He's going to explain that the heart of the wise is in the house of the mourning, but the heart of the fool is in the house of mirth. Again, the wise, the one who's pondering, who's considering what death means. That's why you want to be there. You want those opportunities that make you think and re-question and refocus yourself with your walk with God. And don't forget that the fool is one who says God doesn't exist. Lives as though God doesn't matter. They want to be in the house of feasting. Let's eat and drink and forget the fact that tomorrow we die. Let's just enjoy now. Not think about the rest. Let's numb ourselves. That's what it's all about. And that's why it's so sad. As believers, we tend to fall in that category way too much. We work hard, we get home, we entertain ourselves, we want to numb ourselves with laughter and feasting and enjoyment. Instead of taking it to heart. Instead of taking it on our knees and saying, Lord, thank you for your help this day. Help me to rest and get back to honoring you. The fool is the one just partying and numbing himself and wanting to forget. The wise one is the one that takes it to heart, considers it, and lets it change his life. As Quillette will continue to make us understand the good and the wisdom in receiving this instruction, He's going to now say, it is better for a man to hear the rebuke of the wise than to hear the song of fools. The wise, like Kohelet, now talking to us. Now telling us, the readers, as he did back then, take my rebuke to heart. Consider it's important that you feel the pain. You have this difficulty. A bit like the human body reacts with pain receptors so you don't continue and hurt yourself even more, right? That pain receptor says, stop. You're going to lose your hand. That's a good thing. The wise one receives that rebuke and responds to it. Instead of being the fool that says, I'd rather numb myself and just keep having fun even if I lose everything. Better than this person receiving the rebuke. Then these persons with their songs, and he's going to end by telling us why. Why is all this merrymaking, this feasting, this laughter so bad? Because as the crackling of thorns under a pot, so is the laughter of the fools. This also is vanity. Back then, wood was useful for pretty much everything, right? You want to light the house, you burn the torch. You wanted to cook your food, you put fire under the stove. But not all wood was created equal, if I could say. Not all wood could be useful for a good strong fire. Thorns was the worst of the woods because it burned quickly and it made a lot of noise when it burned. It crackled, like loud, like fireworks. So not only is it making loud sounds in your house, but the fire's not lasting long enough that you can cook your food in the pot. It's very useless. It's loud, it's short-lived, it's useless, like this fool's and his laughter and its merrymaking. It's useless. It won't last forever. And it needs to wake us up because of how valid it really is. And like I said, this is not just for them, this is for us today. We could be quick to say, don't be legalistic. Don't tell me I can't and can't do that. Watch this or that. We have to be reminded, receive the rebuke of the wise. The life is short. That we have been bought back at a great price. We have to live for God because our redemption was in the vain ways of our previous life. We have to be different than the world because we are not of this world. We are citizens of heaven. Does it show to the world? Do we respond when God shakes us up and says, hey, you're living for the world now. Wake up. You're feeding the flesh now. Wake up. You're not feeding your intimacy with me. Do we? Do we recognize how we've been swimming in this hot water for so long? We've got used to it like the frog. We're just into the merrymaking. We're into that cycle of work hard, play hard, go to church. Everything's okay. Don't do big sins. There you go. No, we need those houses of mourning to wake us up. To remember that Christ said, you pick up your cross, you die to yourself, and you follow me. That's a disciple. That the Son of God had no place to rest his head. He lived only for the Father. You're supposed to be the same way. Yeah, but life is hard and difficult. We're following a Savior who was known for suffering. It's supposed to be the same thing for us. So the merrymaking, it's for after. For all eternity. In perfection. Not here now. We need to wake up. We need to receive these words of Kohelet, of our Heavenly Father. On this note, brothers and sisters, be blessed.